Hi friends and fellow Earth Angels, it's Gladys. And welcome back to another one of my weekly Sunday card readings. And this spread will start by covering January 31st through February 6th, or whenever you're guided to watch, as I always intend these to be timeless readings, meaning whenever this reading shows up in your feed, that is the time that it is meant for you. So February, I can't even believe how fast this month went by. It's like the wheels are spinning and they're gaining speed. So February is one of my favorite months. For me, it's the month of love. And I am a lover of love. I am a romantic person. And I love all things hearts and flowers. So I chose the Goddess Guidance Oracle cards to work with this week, tapping into that divine feminine energy, an energy that we all possess inside of us. And it's the energy of nurturing, gentleness. It works with the law of magnetism, and it's the energy of radiance and beauty and lighting up from the inside out. And so I'm going to continue the reading with the Nature's Whispers cards. And then what is being gifted to you this week, the medicine that's being gifted to you this week with the Queen of the Moon Oracle. Then I'll get a message from your higher self with the Flower Therapy Oracle cards. And then I will finish with Soulful Woman. All right, so let me start here. Open up space. I have my setup a little differently, so I'm a little awkward with handling the cards. It's just because I have my light on this side now, hoping that the lighting is a little better. So I'm recording this on January 30th. That's when Mercury is going retrograde. So as I was shifting around my lighting, I kind of laughed. That is probably not the best time to switch to the lighting around and switch things up, but I'm going to anyway because that's what I was guided. So let me open up space, inviting in all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the divine mother and father, and all their holy beings of light who would like to assist with this guidance. Specifically, the divine mother, the goddess, the divine feminine, the Shakti, and or the yin energy. Okay, so let's begin. What goddess wants to work with the collective this week? Earth Angels. Goddess. Whoop, there she is. And let's begin. Oh, yes. Abundantia, prosperity. It says the universe is pouring its abundance out to you. Be open to receiving. So the energy of receiving has been something that I've been getting. It's been a reoccurring, repetitive message since the beginning of the year. Divine feminine energy is receptivity energy. So I'm feeling like the goddess is reminding us to work with the law of magnetism. So maybe some of you have gotten into the hunt energy. I have to do something to get something, force something, make something happen. It's that it comes from lack or not enough, and it feels like we have it's the energy that makes us feel we have to do something about a situation that's less than ideal. And so the divine feminine goddess energy is reminding you of your innate power within to align with and attract. through your feeling physical body, more of this or something even better. So I feel like Abundantia is coming in this week to remind you of your power, remind you of your birthright. If you're getting too caught up in the have-tos and shoulds of something. And I know, we're raised in a culture that rewards action, performance. It rewards, there's heroism in doing it all, right? I can spin the plates and I can wear multiple hats. So what on a deeper level, I'm also feeling that there are some of you who are exhausted or tired. And the tiredness seems to be coming from mental exhaustion. So there are some of you this week that are being called to drop down into your physical body. So last week I had a week for myself. I was exhausted. I was feeling all the energy with the full moon in Leo, the Mercury retrogrades, the planets shifting, the sun going into Aquarius, all this energy that was happening. I was down for the count. And because I've been doing so much inner work on myself, I just allowed it to be. I rested, I prayed, and there was a part of me that was craving God's love, that was craving connection with the divine feminine essence, like that balance. And nurturing was a word that just kept coming up for me. So sometimes I go through things before others do so that I can teach it, so that I can be empathetic and supportive. So maybe this week, like, it catches up with you and you just feel tired and mentally exhausted. Being able to pull back and recover is powerful. Now that would require action, right? And asking for assistance, receiving support and love and assistance from others. And so I feel like Abundantia is reminding you of your birthright. That if you're feeling lack of time, lack of energy, lack of health, lack of money, all you have to do is be open to another way, calling on the divine, asking them for assistance. Show me. At the beginning of last week, when I was starting to feel tired and not well, I was like, oh God, here we go. And I was reminded how much work I've been putting into taking care of my body. And this was full faith that my body was going to be able to take care of me. That if I was getting sick, if I was coming down with something, of course, fear struck in, because that's all we've heard for the last year and so is sickness and illness and hide and contain and quarantine. And this was it coming to head for me, like, oh God, I don't feel well. What if? How? What am I going to do? What if this happens? And so I recognized it immediately, and I was like, okay, I have full faith in my body. I'm eating well, I'm exercising, I'm sleeping well, I'm drinking water and staying hydrated. Here it is. So what does my body need? So the abundance for me was being able to pull back and ask my body what it needed. Now you have to drop down from your mental mind, the mind that wants to problem solve and do something about it, and drop even lower into your physical body. And it requires a level of listening, right? And I remembered I have an abundance of health. I have an abundance of time. I have an abundance of prosperity. I have abundance of support. And I could literally feel myself softening and opening to love. And I listened to what it needed, you know. I mean, I think there was some point when I just cut up an orange and I squeezed it and I drank the vitamin C. And there was another time where I was guided to go get a certain essential oil and I sprayed that in my throat and, you know, rubbed some on my chest. And there were certain foods that I was guided to eat, and it was so unconventional. But I'll tell you, friends, it was the healing that I needed. It was the trust in my body. It was the trust in the universe. And it was just a teacher to move on a deeper level. So I feel like, you know, challenges are arising and we're getting an opportunity to move through them in a different way. So where were you breaking the cycles? Where are you breaking the patterns of repeated responses? Where are you reacting, right? We want to act instead of react. So once you notice that fear rising up, because that's the humanness in us, right? That's the ego in us. And once you can notice that feeling, being able to pull back and bring your attention back on love and the divine and the angels. And remember, like, this is our birthright. They want us to be joyful, because when you're joyful, you're full of energy, you're full of life, you're feeling financially supported, emotionally supported, and from there, that's when you can serve from the divine capacity. That's where you have an abundance of energy and not necessarily these highs and lows from feeling like we're serving or giving out of obligation or because we need money or we feel like we should. Those are old paradigms that we're outgrowing. That is a very dominant paradigms in our culture today. So, abundant tea, I love that. Be open to receiving. A lot of times it's just sitting with your hands up, right? So the left side is the receiving side. The right hand, right side is the giving side, right? So, you know, being able to sit with your left hand open, saying, I'm open to receiving more of this or something even better, if you're having a moment or an experience that you're really feeling the fullness of it in your physical body. Now, what happens is when you start working with the divine energy in your physical body, anything that doesn't match the love vibration needs to come up and out. And this is where the shadow stuff comes up. This is where the ego stuff comes up. And with the full moon in Leo, right? And, you know, that energy coming up, it's coming up fiercely, like things that we have to face, things that we have to look at and work through. And abundant tea is reminding that you already have the knowledge and wisdom in you on how to heal and how to move through. So shifting from the mind and what we were programmed to believe, or what we were inundated with information, like it has to be this way, a lot of that stuff is outdated. A lot of the protocols and the ways of doing business and the ways of working, it is no longer. This is the age of Aquarius, right? The age of freedom. It is transforming, changing things that aren't working anymore for us. So, all right, Abundantia, what additional message do you have? Nature's Whispers. Can you elaborate on that message for us? What additional message do you have for us? So I think there's three here. I'm just going to take them all. So we have Potential Gateway, card number 50. Here we are, 5 with change. And we have Open Your Heart, right? Receiving, card number 10, which is 1, which is like a new beginning, a new way of doing something. And then we have Higher Ground. Wow. So let's see here. So I'm also looking at adding these up equals 88. 8 is about cycles and rhythms. It's 8 and 0 are my symbols of God. 8 is like the infinity, right? Abundance is not scarce. Money is not scarce. It makes me think of how Jesus turned water into wine, how he transformed or created, or the divine miracle of the bread and the fish to feed thousands on the mountain, right? How does it work? We don't know. So I feel like the energy of miracles are coming up. So some of you may be experiencing divine miracles. Every time I do this work, every time I connect with somebody's loved one, every time I tap into messages and guidance for people where it hits them and it supports them and it reaches them in a way that I couldn't possibly know as a human, it's a divine miracle. The work that we're doing spiritually on this planet is elevating, right? The earth angels of the planet, the earth angels have been doing this a long time. Earth angels, I mean, I've been doing this for 13 years and I'm still a baby. I'm still a baby and learning and evolving and growing. Earth angels on this planet have been working at this energy for a while through our own healing, through our own self-discovery, through our own energy work, our ability to, or our thirst for knowledge, and our ability to be compassionate in order to serve other people with an open heart, right? We have elevated this planet in higher vibrations, which is forcing this flush out of the power struggles, the power principles in the world, the money and the greed, right? And last week I talked about how we have to practice discernment on whom we share our energy with or whom we open up to, because it's distorted right now and it's funky and you know, it can be manipulative, right? I mean, that's a tale as old as time. That's been around forever. So your physical body, the more inner work that you do on your physical body, the more you'll be in tune with, this feels good for me. Yes, this feels like truth. Yes, this feels like divine. Or, you know what? There's something about this situation. My stomach feels sick. I want to run away. I feel like I should listen or open up, and then your body's telling you, no, this is not right now. You know, it doesn't mean no forever, but you're learning how to practice discernment by experiencing many different energies. So I feel like the divine is reminding us this week about higher wisdom, working through the heart. There's a potential gateway. Maybe there's an opportunity for some of you coming up, and there's a potential gateway. And so Abundant Tea is reminding you, is this opportunity that's coming going to give me more time, more energy, more love to fulfill my purpose, to be of service, to heal myself on deeper levels. And if you're not sure, if you're in this process of decision making, especially with Mercury retrograde. Now listen, I've certainly signed leases, traveled, did computer updates when Mercury was retrograde, but I also, before I did that, just took my time to pray. I gave myself plenty of time to get to the airport. I read over the leases 2, 3, and 4 times just to dot my I's and cross my T's. And so we're in this energy. It's kind of like wading through water. You can't run through water fast because there's resistance, right? There's this energy of water, this resistance that doesn't want you to cut through it fast. So Mercury retrograde can feel like, especially if we're energetic and we want to go, it can feel like trying to run fast in water. And it's awkward and it's cumbersome, right? And so it can be confusing and it can be draining very fast. And so I feel like the divine is reminding of us, this might be a cycle, a 3-week cycle to pray, to open our hearts, right? To call in the divine, ask the divine for opportunities, because really, friends, everything that's come to me, everything that has been fruitful in my life, everything that has grown fruit, that has prospered, that has flourished, that I love dearly, has never been anything I thought it was going to be, right? My whole life. I had expectations and life just brought me something completely different. But I can always say it was everything I didn't know I needed. And so this is where my word last year came from: surrender. I'm like, all right, I'm tapping out. Like, the ego doesn't know what it's doing. I need to learn about that so I can shift into surrender. And experiences and things just started to shift for me, and it seemed a little more easier, and it strengthened my faith. It strengthened my trust in the divine, and it helped me feel more powerful, empowered, that in myself, knowing that I have the ability to make good decisions, that I have the ability with the divine to take care of myself, to keep myself safe, right? Because when we're not in that space, we look externally for someone or something to fix us, save us, change us, and make us better. So those power mongrels in the world, it sounds judgmental, I shouldn't say it like that, but those power hungry energies in the world will totally capture our insecurities, or it will come in strong on any signs of insecurities or low self-esteem, worth and value, weakness, right? And so now we're kind of coming into a place where we've had to learn the game, right? Or not the game. We've had to learn. Well, yeah, kind of. It can be a game. We've had to learn empowerment. We had to learn through those experiences of challenges and dislikes about what it is that is our own truth. And that, friends, takes time, right? Experiences need to happen. We need to move through them. And I just cannot shake that feeling, that feelings and emotions is part of tapping into your power, which is in your physical body, right? So higher ground, I'm also seeing the energy of grounding this week. So if you're getting uplifted, or if you're feeling overwhelmed, I have to tell you, I was a raw nerve last week. I mean, so many hiccups, so many bumps, so many things happened all at once that by Friday I was shot. I was just like, all right, I'm feeling all the feels. Wow, this is intense. But because I was mindful going through it, and I was very kind to myself, I was very nurturing, I was nourishing my body, I was resting and going to bed early, I feel so much stronger. I feel so much more abundant in my energy. So, when somebody gets sick, your immune system kicks in, and it's like an energy, a muscle that needs to be worked, right? And I was reminded through not feeling well, and I'm fine. I'm not, I don't have COVID or anything like that. It was just something my body was flushing out. And so I just want to make that clear. I haven't gone out. I don't really go out much. I do quarantine. We're here in Rhode Island, which is one of the strictest states here. So, I've done all the things. But what I was reminded by my body through that is that even if you do get sick, it's okay. That your body needs a level of germs. Your body needs to be able to fight something to stay strong, right? And to be able to ward off any of the dangers. So I just talk to my white blood cells and nourish the cells in my body with vitamin C and vitamin D and zinc and all that yummy stuff, which I know lessened the impact and speeded up the recovery process. So, again, some of you may be feeling sluggish, some of you may be feeling tired, some of you may be depleting, and that can be deflating if you've been doing a lot of work on yourself. It can be, for me, I felt like because it ran through my physical body, it was something that was cycling out. Because any experiences that we need to have, anything we're working through starts off in the spiritual aura, the vibration, and then if we ignore that, it goes into the mental body, And then if we ignore that, it goes into the emotional body. So by the time it affects us physically, it's already gone through those layers. So usually when I find that something's affecting me physically, it means that it's finally flushing out. And I probably wasn't getting the message, right? I'm human, right? And I'm learning. And so to be able to sit with that, I had to reinforce my faith and my trust in my body's ability to take care of itself. Because again, we've been inundated with this doom and gloom of sickness in the world and danger and death and all those shadowy things, right? Which is happening in the world. So it activated this fear I wasn't even aware of was there. And, being able to have the time and energy to sit with it was a blessing, right? It made me more prosperous in the long run. And you can translate that to many different things in your career, your money, your family, your friendships, your marriage, many different ways. So open heart, grounding yourself. I went to my spiritual practices, and like I said, it opens up a potential gateway for wisdom and knowledge that you can support and help people in the future. All right, so let me see, what are you being gifted with this week? What medicine, what moon medicine are you being gifted with this week? Divine Mother, Divine Feminine, Goddess, what medicine are you gifting the Earth Angels this week? Extremes. Oh boy. Hot moon. Oh, look at all the sweaty heat, right? So the sun, so this is 7, card number 7, the sun. Hold on, I'm getting like multiple messages at once. The sun. When the sun shines down on the earth grows. So the warmth of the sun warms plants, warms animals, warms the vegetation of the planet, warms people, right? Your skin, when the sun hits your skin, it activates the vitamin D that seeps into your blood system, right? Your bloodstream, to give you that joy, that happiness, that positivity. So sun is also is also connected to the masculine energy, and we're working with feminine energy here. We've got so much feminine energy, heart energy and abundance and being magnetic and miracles and opportunities. I'm not surprised that the masculine energy of the sun came in, but like I said, it's the 7, which is the void, the darkness. And interesting, when I went to put the card deck down, I saw the bottom of the deck, which is also darkness. Right? And so being able to move through challenges, being able to gain the wisdom from these feelings, these emotions, and that are less than ideal, that are unpleasant, that are coming up. I always say one of my famous words to God is, why God? Why God? Show me why, God. Tell me why, God. Why is this happening, God? What is the reason of this, God? Why, God? I'm like that child that's just so curious all the time. When I'm frustrated, I'm like, why? Why does this have to be? What am I learning from this? It's not fair, right? That's my inner child that kicks in. So you may experience extremes this coming week of the masculine and the feminine energy, the tug of war, right? Of I've got so much to do and I got so much to be. And then, like I said, we're in this Mercury retrograde energy that's kind of like running in water. We have to take our time and go slow here. The hot moon. Let me see here. I'm going to look a little bit. And of course, I opened right up to the page. Wow. So the book here says, learn how to handle crises with calm and resilience. This is basically what I was talking about with my experience, because me getting sick I'm a wicked germaphobe. So me getting sick was just a crisis for me, or feeling something coming on. It says, seeking balance is superior to seeking extremes. There are better ways to handle conflict than rage and outrage. There may be someone who seeks to disrupt your business or life in some way. This too shall pass. So the affirmation that you can say this week, if the unexpected happens and it activates you, or you start to feel out of control. And remember, this is all part of learning. That's what the 5-year is in numerology. It's like we have to feel the discomfort in order to know where we need to focus our intention to make change. But that doesn't mean we have to force something or shame ourselves or the ego. I know I've been, I'm not an astrologer, but I watch enough of it where, the ego is rearing its ugly head. It's surfacing, but it's for us to learn from it, right? So the affirmation says, I handle extremes with grace. Yet I seek balance in all things. And I feel like this is why these cards are reminding us to go back within, to the inner wisdom of the heart, to ground your energy. I have a spiritual practice that I do, I try to do every day, but I do it very frequently, and it's connecting with heaven and earth, but it's a practice that I can go to because it's like on a CD. And so if you can maybe have or pull from your treasure chest of tools, right? Something that's very grounding. I use sometimes a guided meditation it's called the ribbon breath meditation that my mentor, my teacher had showed us years ago. And so for me, that's grounding, and it works with the drums, it works with water, it works with the whooshy music of like the heavens. So maybe this for some of you is clearing your chakras and really working with the root chakra to feel safe, supported, stable, secure, right? Those are what we need too, because we can get very lifted up working in the throat, the heart, the throat, the third eye, and the crown. Those are all feminine chakras, and the heart, the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, and the root are masculine. So the heart is the masculine and the feminine balance. So I feel like, that all being said, bring it back to the heart, right? What's the heart of the matter? If somebody's saying something to you that's activating fear or worry, even though you know that they're in their best intentions and they mean well, being able to pull back and say, okay, would God talk to me like this? Does this sound like this is coming from the angels or the heavens? How can I take in this information and transform it in love, right? Earth angels are shifting the vibrations of love on the planet. We're learning about love. We're learning about how to love people. We're learning how to be tolerant. We're learning how to be patient with ourselves and others. If we're not learning it within ourselves, friends, it is going to come up in our physical world, in the 3D world, and it's going to present itself really fast. It's like that tiger that comes out of nowhere and you're like, oh boy, here it is. So the more aware we can practice awareness and presence and connecting and grounding, the more prepared you're going to be. I always say, every time something happened in my life, major, God always prepared me. I always had insight. I always had some tip. Somebody always said something that just struck me that I was like, there it is. God always has your back, but we need to practice this energy of presence and awareness and patience, right? And definitely tolerance with ourselves too. All right, what does your higher self have to say? So remember, these extremes that are happening are a gift. They're a gift. I know they're uncomfortable. I know they're annoying. I know they're aggravating, but this is where you're going to learn the most. So when we can lean into it, embrace it, it can be a fun ride. All right, so what does your higher self want you to know this week? What's your higher self want you to know this week about your journey, about what you're learning, what you're going through? Okay. Oh my God, balance. There it is again. Balance, work, rest and play. Yellow rose. Oh, I love roses. They're my favorite. It says it's important for you to have fun along with fulfilling your responsibilities, right? If we're in that space of all work, no play, we're going to create from a place of lack. Everything we do is going to feel like you've got weights on your feet, and it's just going to slow you down if you're doing things because you feel like you should, because somebody said, this is the way you need to do it. This is the way it's worked for others. You're already out of alignment with your core essence, but you have to be aware of that thinking, right? You have to be aware of the influence that's been on you. And this is that kind of 5 year where we're just awakening to all this stuff, right? So when we can say, thank you, universe, thank you for showing me this. Thank you for this showing up in my life. Thank you for the knowledge and wisdom. When we can say thank you, we're in a place of receiving, right? And so the universe is saying, listen, we can have fun with these. I think a few weeks ago, the adventure card came up, and again, I mean, repetitive messages are necessary for it to sink in and also to out of sight, out of mind. So sometimes we forget these things. This is why I read books over and over again. I mean, and I highlight things and I thumb through them, because even though it strikes me and it hits me at the core, I'm going to forget it. So these are just repetitive things that keep coming up to support you on your journey, to remind you about how loved you are, how important you are. Remember, the divine cannot do their work without you, right? We cannot fulfill our purposes and our missions and our divine purpose on this planet without the divine. We're co-creating, right? And it's going to come from within, not necessarily externally. Somebody telling you what you need to do, how to be, how to think, how to act. You know, we're in this culture right now where there's like this battle going on of individualism, right? Being authentic, individual, and unique. But yet we live in a society where all the clothes are the same. All people are watching the same things. Like we have it's like the 3D world wants us all to be the same. It wants us to think the same, act the same, look the same, right? And earth angels are so different. Like earth angels are, and this is why the self-esteem stuff can come up, and the denial of the body, or the rejection of the body, or, you know, if it's eating disorders, or if it's not feeling good enough, or if it is, I call it emotional cutting, right? Shaming and blaming on ourselves because we're different. And we live in a society that's constantly saying, be the same. Be the same, look like us, act like us, think like us, do all the same things, right? You'll notice it when you observe. You'll notice, wow, these all look the same, or they're all saying the same things. And so earth angels, remember, earth angels are rebellious. So in a way, if everybody's doing one thing, earth angels are going to do something else. But they educate themselves, right? They educate themselves, and they learn, and they hibernate, and they pull back, right? And so we're in this place of transforming this energy. So your individualism, your authenticity, your uniqueness is the treasure, right? If you've been following me for any point of time, you know I've gone through all the things: the abusive relationships, the eating disorders, the loss and grief of a dominant parental figure in my life at a very young age, struggling with where I fit in the world. I'm barely 5 feet, so I will never look like that woman that society says you should look like. I mean, God bless them, but you know, there's a lot of, and even the men who are watching this channel, right? The men who are watching this channel, you're awakening to your gut instincts and your powerful mind, and creating and accessing wisdom and insight, but there's a sensitivity to you, right? There's a feeling body to you that society doesn't reward, it doesn't commend, right? It's all about like, how tough can you be, right? And how resilient can you be? And that's exhausting for all men, right? So many of us are coming into balance, and the universe is saying, have fun with it. That's the message again, have fun with it. All right, let's finish up here. All right, so Soulful Woman. I'm going to ask the Divine Mother. The Divine Mother. What wisdom do you want to finish with? What overall message do you have for the collective this week? Savoring the positive. Again, here's number 10 again. 1, we had 10 here. Open the heart. It says, I allow myself the spaciousness of savoring the delicious gifts in my life. I mean, boom, more of this or something even better. Hold on a second. Let me get this out of the light. There we go. So I'm seeing the hawk energy, the moon energy, the water energy. So I just feel like try to be mindful that these extremes aren't swallowing you up and consuming you with either negativity, I want to say cynicism, if that's a word, cynical, resentments, judgments. If you find yourself going there, and it's a normal part of the human experience, right? If you find yourself going there, instead of shaming or blaming, ask yourself, what am I learning from this? What in me, or what wisdom, or what experiences I've had in the past, whom, has activated this in me? No, I shouldn't say it like that. That's not, cancel that. What experiences of my past is now activating this extreme within me? And then asking yourself, well, what did you need then? And how can you support yourself now in a healthier way? Again, I'm seeing forgiveness. That came up last week with Archangel Uriel. And being unforgiving can create a level of anger, resentment, and bitterness, which is held in the liver, gallbladder, and spleen, right, along the middle back, which is also very, very directly connected to the heart, right? And so, if you're in a negative space or you're feeling that lower vibration creeping in, because it's like a magnet for more of that. When you start feeling those moments, life for me is all about the moments. And the moments for me just happen organically. I can't plan one of those moments. And for me, it's like it's a treasure, it's an experience. That's just a moment for me. And it hits me. I'm like, this is a moment. And I savor it. I'm very, very feminine. I'm very present all the time. I have to consciously work on my masculine and planning and, grounding and all that. The electric, the work, like focus and forward moving energy. That's the energy I have to work on. Most others, it's flipped. Most people are in the deep masculine and need to, discover the feminine wisdom within and the presence and the stillness and the pause, which is what I talked a lot about last year. So when I'm in those experiences, I say more of this or something even better. If something just works out for me, I was at Trader Joe's last week getting groceries, and the bagger, the person that was bagging, was talking, and I was talking to the cashier, and we were talking about traveling, and skydiving came up, and we were just kind of talking, and God bless him. He accidentally dropped my bag that had a 32-ounce bottle of olive oil in it, and you could tell he was so embarrassed. And a different customer could have gotten really impatient or angry or irritable or annoyed or dismissive. And me and my like, well, this is happening, and, like all the employees are kind of running over because, oil is obviously a big mess and it's slippery and I'm just watching all this unfold, and we're laughing about it, and the line, I can feel the tension of the people in the line building up, and we're just kind of laughing at, we're making light of it, and, I'm really being supportive of the kid, and he's saying, oh, you're the customer of the year, and I paused for a moment, and I'm like, this is a moment, because it was typical like week of Mercury retrograde, full moon energy of something happening. And I came home, I was just wipe them off and put them in. I came home with greasy groceries. And I just sat in the kitchen and I'm like, I'm glad I was the one to have that experience, even though it was a little annoying to have to clean off all the olive oil. I was glad I was the one to have that experience, because it reminded me that we all make mistakes and we all are learning. And it's fine. And who knows what his background was? Who knows what, his life has been, where you could tell he appreciated the forgiveness. And again, I laughed. I said, this is a moment. This is something I won't forget. So this week, ask God, the Divine Mother, Divine Father, to bring you those moments where you just pause and you're like, life is so funny. It's those moments where you have inspiration. It's those moments where your heart opens up. It's those moments that are so annoying and it's such a fluke thing that you can't even possibly have tried to recreate it yourself. And I feel like that's what it's saying. Savoring the positive, savoring the moments, being aware, being present, the spaciousness of it. Give pause to it instead of barreling through life and, trying to like make everything be perfect or done the right way. All right. Okay, I think that's all I have to say for this week. So let me thank all your close space. Let me thank all your guardian angels and guides, the archangels, the ascended masters, the Divine Mother and Father, and all their holy beings of light that assisted with this guidance for you today and this week. And I'm going to ask that any healing that was started continue for as long as it needs to be done. And so it is, friends. So thank you so much for watching. I wish you a joyful week. And as always, if I can support you in any way, my information and about me is in the description box below if you want to send me an email or a message. And I do want to remind you, remember, these videos and the system all runs on like algorithms, right? So, liking the video or subscribing to the video doesn't always necessarily mean my videos will pop up in your feed or videos like it. So if you are, it helps my channel if you like the video, but it also keeps my videos in the feed. You could click the notification. You could click the notification bell when you hit subscribe, and I don't even know if the notifications are going out. So maybe if you are getting emails to let you know that I've posted, maybe somebody can let me know that you're getting emails, because I have no idea. But I do know from my own personal experience, if I don't like something or I don't visit the page enough, or if I'm not on enough, those videos disappear and other things come in. So I want to encourage you to hit that like button. It helps me, but it also keeps the videos in the feed because I will disappear. And remember, out of sight, out of mind. So I hope you were spiritually nourished. I hope this video supported you in some way. If it has, and you know somebody who can benefit, please share it. And as always, I love you. God loves you so much. Trust in the divine. Trust your intuition. And I send you love with heavenly hugs. Bye for now.